If you ever want to veer off and do a Frank Stallone podcast, let me know.
No, that won't happen.
Any of you people out there that find humor in this, you're really a sick, vapid person. You got no soul. If you think it's funny, you people should be ashamed of yourself.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Frank Stallone. Who is this guy? I am your host, Ryan. With me, of course, as always, is Dom.
Hello,
but
Ryan.
we have hello, Dom. But we have a special returning guest co-host with us.
Yes, we do. Very exciting.
The son of Frank, Robert. How you doing?
It's good to be back. How are you both doing?
Very good. Very good. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see your smiling face. And of course, Rob has talked to myself since your last appearance. We've chit-chatted. You've been listening to the episodes, like I think, as this journey has continued since your last appearance. You sent me something. You're like, hey, I would love to come on your next recording. So for the record, guys, I don't want people to think I'm like getting Frank Stallone's son on the podcast for some sort of clout. Rob himself, he wanted to come on the show and share his thoughts and ideas. But Rob, how you doing since our last visit?
Oh, yeah, it's been good. Nothing really new on my end. I have not spoken to my father since we did that episode.
But day 58, I'm not talking to Frank.
Yeah, I did see him at the Beverly Hills Film Festival a couple months back. We did not speak while we were there. Yeah, I've been getting sent some clips of his Instagram, which are quite funny. So I'm curious to see how you guys think of them.
Yeah, I look forward to going through that. Of course, that's what we're doing here today, folks, is we are doing the Frank Stallone journey. It's going to be about, I think, once a month is working out pretty good.
Yeah, it's good because it gives us enough time for us to build up a nice little segment to talk about, right?
Yeah, it's almost too much. It's like I was doing some of the clips and the videos, and it's like, oh, we have a lot here. So I actually had it so what I will usually do, here's behind the curtain. I'll go through his Instagram. I'll pretty much snip every picture. I'll do like a snip, create a PowerPoint of all the pictures of the stuff that I think is funny or interesting or whatever it might be. And then I'll, of course, do his videos. And I was like, man, we got a lot of content here. And we do have a lot of content today. So we're going to kind of get right to it. But what I'm saying is I was thinking to myself as I was putting this together, I was like, I wonder, is this a little too much? But 2 weeks isn't quite enough. 1 week certainly is enough. 3 weeks might be almost kind of the gold, but
is there such a thing as too much, Frank? Though I don't think. So.
I think this podcast is proving that there might be too much thing. I also want to say that I have officially created a standalone feed for the Frank Stallone podcast.
Boom!
If you're listening to this episode on the last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network or on the Rambo podcast, which is the two feeds that this sort of thing kind of was built on, I'm going to continue showing this show on the last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network. So for those people who don't necessarily want to switch networks or switch channels and they're happy listening to this, because we have a lot of people who listen to it just on that network, that's fine. I won't be offended. But there's probably the Rambo podcast people. I'm just letting them know in particular, because that's really why I'm doing the change. It wasn't so much for the last of the Action Hero people. Because when I make the change to the new show, like RSS feed, the Frank Stallone podcast will show up on the last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network feed as the Frank Stallone podcast, no longer under the Rambo banner. But on the standalone feed for the Rambo podcast, I know this is kind of confusing, but it makes sense if you're one of the other feeds. The people who listen to the show know what feed they're on, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
If you're listening to this on the Rambo feed, this will be the last episode of that feed to give the announcement that in the show notes is the clip for the YouTube channel. So you can see the YouTube video of all our videos and of the actual standalone feed that this show will continue on in perpetuity. Who knows how long it'll last for? It might last just until Christmas.
Well, 20 years.
Or according to Frank, when the world is burnt or destroyed. So we'll see.
We're going to be doing this after the apocalypse. Like we're going to be connecting, I don't know, cans and wires talking about Frank Stallone.
I have a question for you, Ryan.
Yes, please.
Have you received your bourbon yet?
Great question.
That is a good question. This is wild that you still haven't received.
So you ordered it back in January, right? You said
I ordered in January for an early delivery for February.
That is wild.
Have they contacted you again?
No,
Or-
they're ignoring me. They're
Right.
ghosting me.
I want to call conspiracy on this. I'm going to call that he knows it's you and he's never sending it to you.
There's no way Frank is involved with any of this
No,
production.
no
Or
chance.
so there are other people. I won't take it too personally. There are other people who actually contact me because of the show. They'll email me or message me saying they too haven't received the bourbon. So it's not unique to me, but I still haven't received it. So I guess the over-under should be we should do like before Biden dies, before Trump dies, or before Sly dies. Which when will I get my bourbon? Okay. I also want to say this show might start to become a little bit political. So we want to be clear here, folks, because we are going to be showing clips and pictures of Frank's opinion, thoughts on the politics of the world or of the U.S. that evolves the world, I guess you could say. We are a non-political show. Dom, I don't think will share. I will not share. I don't think Robert will share necessarily where our political leanings lie. It's not about what we think so much as like what we're voting for. Well, I'm Canadian, so I have no vote. But the point is we are just going to be commenting on how and what Frank is expressing regarding his beliefs, which he's sharing publicly. So we're going to respond to those things. All right. So here we go. Here's the first picture we have. This is of Frank Stallone. He had this hat when he was a teenager. He goes, "This is my Charlotte Hall Military Academy garrison cap." We also had a white cover for the hat and white gloves for certain events. And I love how he mentions a certain event here. He goes, like when President Kennedy was assassinated, which he says was an extremely sad event. Thanks, Frank. Thanks for telling us that when John F. Kennedy was murdered in the streets of Dallas, it was, quote, a extremely sad event. So, Robert, did you know your dad was in this military academy, Charlotte Hall Military Academy?
Yeah, he's mentioned it to me before. I think he was only there for a year or two, but he likes to pretend he was in the military. So,
They drew first blood.
yeah, right.
He pretends he was in the military. He likes to think he's a cowboy, or he wishes he was a cowboy. That's why this podcast exists, because Frank Stallone, who is this guy? Like, I don't know who he is. There's so many different faces and elements to him. Like, hard to pin down.
We're trying to find it out. That's when the podcast ends. When we figure
I don't
out.
think you'll ever be able to quite find it out. To be honest. He's a complicated man.
He's an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got another picture here. This is just a nice picture here with his buddy. He goes, dinner with my dear friend, Mark Rosano, at Dan Tana's, talking about film, theater, and all the things important to us, including drinking old fashions and Italian food. Mm-hmm. And this line kind of made me chuckle. He says, some people were looking at us like we were from another time. I find it odd that he's commenting on his Instagram that people were looking at them oddly.
He was probably getting loud and drunk and saying some out of pocket stuff.
Now I like this one. This one was just posted just 4 weeks ago. And what I liked about this one, I don't know if you can catch it right away. He says, at Caesar's Palace, Vegas for the big fight 81. So he's got Sylvester there, Carl Weathers, Alex Arquello, and the Frankster, of course, he calls himself. Now, what I love about this, did you guys catch what he kind of did here that made me laugh? He tagged official Carl Weathers Instagram. Passed away.
Check this picture out. Check this throwback out.
Oh my
if you're not busy in the afterlife, check this out.
I love that 80s perm he has going on, too.
Oh, that's great.
That's such an 80s photo.
There's cocaine there. All right. So
there's definitely cocaine present in that.
Someone said here, I'd pay $1 million just to go back to that table and listen to the talk. No. Frank posted on Instagram the video of Carl Weathers' in memoriam or celebration of life ceremony, whatever it was called, in June. So it just happened in June. Frank was asked to speak at it. It was too long to clip. It was like 2.5, almost 3 minutes long. But what made it funny is Frank was asked to speak. Of course, he starts off just by saying, I've known Carl for 50 years. Right? Because of why?
Rocky.
So what I find funny is Frank has been asked to speak at Carl Weathers' funeral because Sly couldn't make it or didn't want to come. They got the next best thing, which was Frank. And then Frank says, yeah, I've known Carl for 50 years. Then he literally says, when I got the phone call from my brother in 1970 just to write some songs for this film. And the rest of his talk in memoriam to Carl was talking about the making of Rocky.
He's just talking about himself the entire time.
And then he's like, "Rest in peace, Carl," and that was it. It was embarrassing. Anyways, you can check that out on his Instagram, but that was the gist of that. So here's a picture of Frank. He goes, I was 18 years old here in Philly with my band Valentine, picking up a little before we performed. Of course, he mentioned again, I started professionally at 15, and through the ups and downs, I've never regretted the gift that God gave me to continue on with what I was born to do. And then he says here, follow your dreams, but never abandon the hard work it entails. Follow your brother's coattails is more or less what he did.
Follow your brother's bank account. Yeah.
Would we be talking about Frank Stallone right now had Sly died in the womb?
Oof. I don't think so.
Oh.
No. Now you're wondering, Ryan, why are you posting this picture of the old movie called Air Force? Well, Frank's been going on this binge lately on his Instagram, posting a bunch of movie posters from the old times. Great when he was a youth. I get it, nostalgia. But of course, like in Frank's world, everything was better back then than it is now. Everything was better. Now, he just says here, if you want to see a fantastic film from World War II era, this is it. This is what makes me proud to be an American. Superbly directed by Howard Hawks with a stellar cast. He talks about the film. I guess the events that happened in the film is the it. He goes, it's what you get when you sneak attack our country.
The film is what you get when you sneak attack.
I don't know. No, I don't see. That's what he says. It. I think he's saying, I guess in the film, they probably,
Oh, I get it. Like in the plot of the film.
I love how he tags all the branches of the U.S. military.
I was surprised he's not tagging Howard Hawks, who's been dead for 100 years.
Yeah, right. John Garfield.
I'm surprised he's not tagging the Japanese Navy.
Douglas MacArthur.
He goes on to say, this should be shown in every school to show children what the greatest generation was made of. These were the people I grew up with. I'm proud to be a boomer. Here's the thing, Frank. If your people are so great, your age group is what I mean by you people, and we're so great and so amazing, how come they can't fix the mess we're in right now? So he's saying, our generation or even younger than us have destroyed his world. Then my question is, how did you guys, the leaders of the world, the Bidens, the Trumps, or whoever, my country's leaders, how come you allowed it to happen? I thought you guys were tough and great and strong and smart, but you weren't smart enough to stop what you think is the chaos. This is another good one here. This is a hidden gem by maybe the greatest director ever, John Ford. Was not a hit, but one of Ford's favorites. Now, this is a key here. This is projecting Frank 101. It doesn't have to be a big hit to be good. You get what he's saying here?
I actually don't get what he's saying. No.
Think of his music career.
Doesn't have to be a big. It doesn't have to be a big hit.
Frank is constantly either redefining his own success or lack of. He's saying this film wasn't a big hit, but it's good. So it's him projecting his own films or his music where they're not hits. He's had one hit, but every other music that he's done that he's proud of or he thinks is good, they're not hits. But he's just saying, it doesn't have to be a hit to be good. That's what I got from that one. I could be wrong.
Remember that when you're looking at my discography.
Now, I guess he posted this picture earlier. It's the Johnny Come Lately starring James Cagney. And I guess there was an issue with him posting before because he said this. He goes, sorry, I posted before. And for some reason, some vile rap song came on.
What is that? Like, how did that even happen? Now he's posting a photo of a movie poster. Why would a rap song come on?
Didn't you say that rap music ruined his career back in the
He did. I think he did.
On the couch.
That's why he hates it. Yeah.
That's when Frank should have probably pivoted to a rap career, though. I feel like that's the moment.
I would pay so much money to see him.
Now, here we go. We're starting to enter more politics here, folks. He's posted a picture. Let me lead with his discussion first, because this is Frank. You say what you want about Frank. Say what you want about Frank, because he might be a Republican and a Trump supporter, but he's also very kind and respectful to the opposite side of the fence. He's nothing but kind and to the opposition. Because he says here, listen, he goes, it was tragic, he says, to see the decline of this man, speaking of Joe Biden, but it's about the sovereignty of our country. That is most important. Okay, so there you go. But then he posts a picture of a meme of Joe Biden saying, let's get ready to mumble.
That is a funny meme, actually.
It is a funny meme, but what I love is how he's saying that it's tragic and sad that he's just 81, he's old, and to see the decline of Joe Biden, but then he poses a meme that makes fun of Joe Biden's age.
He should have posted him falling down the steps after saying all those things.
I'm just waiting to see him fight in the comments with people. See if he does
yeah, he
He's
fights.
done it a couple times.
And he fights.
All right, of course. This is amazing here.
Jesus.
So on his wall here, he's got these gold records. Now, again, I think the majority of these are for the Rocky and Staying Alive. Let's be honest. Yeah, he does have one here on the top. If you see the top left corner, it's for his record called Full Circle. I did a little research on that because he actually posted a picture of his album. It came out 24 years ago. He said he was the most proud of that album because it was the album that he said. I listened to some of the songs from that album on YouTube. Number one, a horrible production. Every song sounds the same. It's really, really kind of not good. However, he said he played every instrument on the album, and that means drums. And I don't know. Do you think Frank truly plays drums?
I don't know. Now I want to listen to this album after you saying this. He's played every instrument on the album.
I'm listening to the drumming on that. Like, that's no way that's Frank behind the kit. What do you think, Robert?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Well, he said he played every instrument on that album. He played it all. That he did the singing and all the backup singing and all the instruments. That's what he said on that album.
Look at that comment by Alex below.
I want Dom to read that. So,
okay. I had the honor to sit next to you and film whole podcast with that wall of fame behind us.
Alex the Trader.
Let's go, Frankie.
Frank, we were on that podcast. Do you remember which podcast that was on?
Yes. That was the one when we thought there was.
That was the guy with the guys that fucking like that.
Yeah. He was high on cocaine.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name again? Robert or no? Brugio or
Fletcher, right? Whatever his name is.
Fletcher? Yeah, Robert Fletcher.
Fletcher. And then the other guy was Mike, right?
Mike.
That still lives in my nightmares and still comes to me in my dreams. Tells me to kill my family.
It's funny too. I'm actually friends with Mike on Facebook. Frank's going back on that show. I think.
He is. Yes.
Yeah. He's going back on it.
Yes.
Nice.
See, when we have Rob on here, we get the behind the scenes info.
Another part 2 of a Mike Torsia episode.
Ooh, God.
I just don't know what they could be talking about though that they already have to discuss. I mean,
that's the beauty of it, Robert. We get to find out. All right, so there's another movie picture. It's the best years of our lives.
Great movie.
Now he says here. It was a good movie? Okay, I haven't seen it.
Oh, great movie,
Oh, you and your dad agreed to this one. That's good.
Oh, it's a classic. Yeah.
He goes, happy July 4th. People remember the founders, the soldiers that gave their life to this country. Watch some great movies. I've listed you. I hate his freaking writing because I try to read it the way he writes it, but then I stumble because it makes it seem like I can't read. It's you, Frank. You can't write. Watch some great movies. Period, maybe, or comma. I've listed, have your kids watch them with you. Build a sense of gratitude and pride in your country. And then this is the best part. Not these lowlifes on the street.
I love how he goes. That's my favorite part. Just like with the Biden thing, I love how he goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Talking about a movie, talking about it's a classic, watch it with your family.
He segues so fast. It's
so good. It's so good.
Not these lowlifes on the street. Most not even from this country.
I hate Mexicans.
Most are brown. They're not white. Let's be honest. He when he writes that, when he says most are not from this country, he's not thinking white immigrants.
I don't think so.
No, he's not.
Trying to destroy all that's good. Pride in country. Pride in self. The old saying goes, love it or leave it.
What the hell? Like, what the hell was that paragraph?
What does that say? Us. Happy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's. I think that's from his phone. I think he's inputting this from his phone. So it might be an emoticon or whatever you call it that translates into text on the computer. So I think it might be US or something like that, or like American flag or something. Because other people have done it too. So Happy 4th of July says US. So I think it's like a US flag or something either side, like a sticker that doesn't translate to Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I love this comment down below. Go on Google, find one you like, and go there. Say just pick up and move if you don't like the United States.
The thing is, they did find one they liked. They came here. They came to America. It's like I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. I'm just saying that's the issue. They found a country they like, and now they're here. All right. Now I love this picture here because we have Frank in a motorized scooter. Robert, did you ever think the day you'd see your dad in a motorized scooter?
I can't imagine what he's doing. Well, because he supposedly had a back injury, right? That's why he's
He had back surgery. It was for right here. He had a procedure right at the top here. It says, I had a procedure for my, I don't know how to pronounce this, so I apologize.
Sciatica?
Is it sciatica? Okay. Now, it is a lower back spinal injury. So he did have surgery. Now, he says your procedure. He's also said surgery. So I'm not sure which one or how invasive it might be, but fair enough. That's why he has that cane. By the way, it's a tombstone cane, by the way.
That's a prop from the movie.
really.
No, it says tombstone. It says Marshall. Okay. It actually says Marshall at the top, tombstone.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. He's trying to take over Kurt Russell's role of the film.
He's going to go kill Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it's like a random employee to take a photo of him in that cottage.
Well, that's just it.
It's like a 14-year-old kid holding a cell phone behind him.
Right.
But you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say there's two things happening here. He truly needs the scooter to go to the hardware store because he says here he had back surgery, so he had to go to the hardware store. Never thought I'd use one of these, referring to the scooter. But the old cane wasn't enough. Almost ran into a few things, driving, I guess he's saying. But Frankster was not going to carry 6 gallons of paint. It goes, in a few days, I'll be back to normal because this will be the only picture with him in it. Now, it's probably from the store. It's probably a photo op to do this silly photo. You're right, Robert. Who took the photo? Was it a worker? Was it Alex? Because
it was either a worker or Alex. I mean,
well, if it was a worker that was there, fair enough. But can you imagine Frank flagging somebody down? Saying, hey, can you take this photo of me being old?
Anybody recognized him in that store, who he was?
No. And then if it was Alex, why didn't Alex just push a cart?
Right.
Either way, it's just I get it. It's Frank being silly and having fun. That's fine. All right, so Frank posted a picture of Donald Trump in a cowboy hat outside of some building outside of, I don't know, Mexico or
the Alamo or something like that.
Yeah, the Alamo. Now look what Frank wrote here on his Instagram. He goes, "The boss is coming, and hell's coming with them."
That's probably not an appropriate thing to say.
He really thinks he's that Ed Bailey character in real life, doesn't he?
He started to become like, I think he's losing the line between reality.
I think so, yeah.
So, of course, that's the famous line that Kurt Russell says in Tombstone. Probably one of the best scenes in the whole film was when he yells, "And hell's coming with me." So he's saying that hell's come with Trump. Yeah, that's a terrible slogan. I imagine if that was Trump's slogan. His new slogan was "Hell's coming with me."
Probably not what you want to hear on the political.
No.
This is from Boogie Bob. He wrote, "This is the stupidest post you've ever done."
Did he fight with that person?
He let some of those comments stay. But Frank wrote here, this is interesting, he goes, "If you badmouth Trump on my site, you get deleted or blocked, so why waste your time?" So do you see those 41 replies? When you try to click on that, guess what happens?
They're all deleted.
They're all deleted. Yeah.
I just don't understand, though. If you post all these controversial comments, you're going to get feedback and flashback.
Right.
He takes the time out of his day to block everybody who just...
Right, that's the thing. He's just sitting there blocking 41 comments.
That would take so much time to do,
Yeah.
He's wasting his time, ironically. He's actually taking time out of deleting and block. I wonder how big Frank's block list is.
Oh, thousands, probably.
Thousands. We're still not on it. Me, Dom, and the podcast are not.
I'm on it.
Rob made the cut. I was just gonna say, I don't think any of us three are on it, but
dude, I've been on that since like March of 2021. So I'm
man, Rob,
you're
you're in the shit house, huh, Rob?
I have. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been blocked yet. We'll find out.
Same.
So now we got a picture here of Frank on a boat, living the rich life, living the high life.
There's a different cane he's got? This looks like a different one.
He might have a couple. He's got one that says Tombstone. He might have a couple.
Okay.
Is this surgery as severe? He's partying on yachts. He can't do that.
You're absolutely right, Robert. It's not as bad. I think the whole cane's a prop. I think he's faking his back injury because of me and Dom making fun of his workout videos. I think he's quitting working out because of our...
You got under his skin that much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a part of me, like, since he saw your podcast now with the one that you were on with us, when's the last real workout videos? He's done like maybe one or two. He stopped talking. He stops talking about the things we bring up. He doesn't talk about boxing anymore. Really, he doesn't talk about Remember his YouTube channel, the big YouTube channel thing that you plugged?
Right, he was going to do.
It's already stopped. He doesn't do anything on it anymore. It's just another.
He's definitely going to see this episode too. So
definitely seeing this one. Hello, Frank. Just want to say hi for an episode that you're going to see. Just want to say hi. We're big fans, Frank. Big fans.
Frank, we love you. Yeah, Frank, if you're watching for real, we don't want you to stop. We hope you get back to the gym. We'd love to have you on the show for real.
I know he was like hinting at doing more videos about boxing history and stuff. He knows a lot of shit about boxing, Frank.
He did the one visit to the graveyard that we legit liked. That was it. Remember, he created his own cable network show.
Right. Oh, yeah, the cowboy one, right?
He went to the gravesite.
Wasn't he dressed like a cowboy when his friend was recording at one point?
What do you mean he's dressed like a cowboy? He is a cowboy. How dare you? So what I loved about this picture, though, Dom, is we got another Alex chimed in again. I want you to read Alex's comment on this.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Trainer Alex. We had great time, Frank. Flex, bicep flex.
We had a great time, Frank. I love it. All right. Now, what I love about this picture is not only is it a Trump watch, but we get a very, very close up of Frank's wrinkly, hairy arm,
wrist. Nice.
Ugh. So it's a watch. It says "Take America Back." It shows Trump, a side profile of Trump, like a coin, face what you find on a coin. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It says "In God We Trust," 2024. What do you guys think of this Trump watch? You want to buy it?
It's fantastic.
I'll pass on that one.
Are you passing on it, Robert, because you're just not a big watch wearer? Is that why?
No, I love watches. That's probably like a watch you'd buy like a 7-Eleven for $2.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
So Frank says here, wake up, America. What time is it? It's Trump time. If you guys do want to buy it, Frank was kind enough to post where you can buy it on eBay.
I was close.
I don't know how much it costs. He goes, you can buy them on eBay. Go Trump. And somebody wrote here, what's next? His used diapers. I just like this one. This is one we've seen before. It's just him says, I'm voting for the felon. Okay.
Is this lady below commenting, calling Frank a felon? Takes one to know one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's not very nice. We know this about Frank. He's not a felon. I don't think he's ever. Has your dad ever been to jail?
Well, you saw a picture of me with this mugshot on a T-shirt, so maybe that's what she's referring to.
Oh, maybe.
No,
that was a DUI, though. That wasn't like a serious felon.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah, who has, man? I drove drunk before I started this podcast with you guys. So I like this picture here. This is he just wanted to show the boots he purchased. He says, these are my new boots. To some, which he spelled the wrong to, but T-O-O. It's just the one O. He's what he should have put. To some, maybe a bit too much, but not for the Frankster. And I agree, that is too much. But that's good.
Too much, yeah.
That's too much.
Wow.
And then lastly, he just wanted to post a picture of the vice president candidate that's running with Trump. You have Mr. Vance there.
I just remain silent. I don't
want to get myself in trouble. So.
Okay, fair enough. Why do all the politicians look like this? Now let's get to the videos, guys. Let's get to the videos.
Well, folks, you saw the debates tonight. You saw someone whose cognitive situation is not good, and you saw someone that was sharp and on their game.
Well, who's who? Why would he tell us who was who? Do you like how he's wearing the Trump 47 hat? Where do you get those hats, Frank? That's what I want to know.
eBay. A whole wardrobe by eBay.
I love how he's got the 47 on his hat there. You know what the funny thing is? There will be a president who will be 47. It just might not be Trump. There will be a 47th president. So that hat will be applicable no matter what at some point to somebody. I do love the gold, how it's in gold. You see that gold? It's gold numbering, of course.
So you make your decision. Who do you want to run your country when we are on the precipice of a potential war?
Who are we at war with? What's going on?
Frank's always spitting facts.
He sounds a little buzzed in this, like he's drunk or something.
He might be tired. He's had a long day supporting Trump. He's had a long day at the conventions and stuff. So he's tired. I think he's tired with America. He's tired with the people. He's tired with the insanity.
It's up to you. No matter what, you have to get out and vote. Okay? Whatever. But I think
You just have all the lights off in this video. You should be in the darkness doing this.
He does sound really dejected and exhausted here, but he does tell us what all we have to do. Sorry, I don't know if you guys caught that.
No matter what, you have to get out and vote.
Yeah.
Okay? Whatever. But I think
This should be a political
Trump
ad.
killed
It should be on TV.
He felt Trump killed it. That's good. All right, so here's the next video.
Good morning. Let's talk about voter ID. There should be, like it's been for hundreds of years, an election day. You have 4 years to prepare for election day, like we always did it.
The gist of this conversation, I'll spoil
It's
a little
about
bit
what,
of it
like
right
the
now.
mail-in votes and stuff like that. Is that what
Yeah, so he's saying you have 1 day to vote. That's it. You go to the ballot, you vote. That's it.
Right,
End
right.
of story. And what he's basically saying is, if I were to hazard a guess, he doesn't want anyone that's not white to vote. Meaning, like, he talked about the lowlifes in the streets that aren't from this country. It all ties together. It's always tying together. Like, he never comes out and says immigrants. I don't want people who don't belong to this country to not vote. But he'll give you quite the bit of a stipulation here as to the type of people that shouldn't vote, which is ironic because yes, people are immigrating to your country, but they're coming to the country to be a part of the country, so they should have a right to vote. If you don't want immigrants in your country, this goes for any country like China, like they figured it out, then you make rules where people can't come to your country. But America and Canada and Australia and Britain, they've allowed rules to let people come to their country. There's a process, but you're allowed to immigrate. And now he's going to give you all the hoops that you two, for example, as Americans will have to jump through, and our listeners who are American, they have to jump through. Okay. But as you listen to his hoops, you start to realize he just basically wants people that were his age, born here.
No voting 2 weeks, a month before the vote. You get out and you vote.
That doesn't work for people that have jobs and lives. People work different shifts. Like a lot of people work jobs where their bosses or the companies, they won't let them take a day off work for election day. It's not a recognized. Some businesses and operations do give their staff, hey, today's election day, go out and vote. But some people just have to drive UPS trucks, work at a restaurant.
Yeah. They're
Whatever-
from my understanding, from a couple of jobs I worked in the past, like I did work at UPS. They are, a lot of those companies do give you like time. I don't know how it works. Obviously, there's some jobs that you wouldn't,
He doesn't want people mailing in their vote anymore. He doesn't. No, the reason why he wants that is my guess is because here's the thing: if Trump had won, would he advocate for the voting system to be this way right now?
No, probably not. Honestly, no.
Yeah, because they're saying it was the mail-in votes that made them lose the election. If you're a Republican, they're saying that there was cheat, it was fraud. Now I don't know, but that's their claim. The mail-in votes, or whatever, were hampered or tampered with, and that's how Biden was. All these invisible votes came in, or whatever it was.
On this side note, his hairline's looking good too.
Yeah, it is looking natural.
It's looking very good.
Yeah.
That's what it should look like, probably.
Right.
If you are from out of this country, you have to show that you are an American citizen and 5 years of tax returns to prove that you are contributing to the pie.
So he's saying you got to be showing 5 years of work. But what about the mother who's a stay-at-home mom who doesn't receive, like, her husband goes to work? Is she not allowed to vote? Are we back to women not allowed to vote anymore? Like,
Everybody knows a woman's place in the kitchen, right?
that's. I guess you could argue, well, you show your tax return is zero, but the point is, he's saying, show me 5 years of tax return before you can vote to show me that you're contributing to the pie. He says you don't get to vote on the pie or what goes into the pie unless you work. What about people that are retired that live there? Because you could theoretically you could retire in Mexico and move to the States with the money that you have and never work a day in your life in the States. But you still go there legally and you just never work again. Am I wrong about that? So you wouldn't have? Would you have a tax return?
I don't know all the details about that. I don't know.
Well, Frank does. Well, he's got. So that's
As we call America. And I believe a voter ID card I don't think it's civil right infraction at all. Very simple. If you have to go into a bank, you have to go into a plane, you have to go into a federal building, you have to go anywhere, you have to show your ID. But I think voting for one of the most important jobs in the world, I think you should be able to identify yourself and you should be an American citizen. It's very simple.
So he kind of conflated two things. He talks about, yes, you have to have a passport to fly out of country. You have to have an ID or license to drive. You have to have an ID for whatever it is. But now he's saying that you need to have a voter ID. Is that something you guys do have?
They send like a voter card, but I know anytime I voted, I just go with my ID, and they basically cross your name off a list. You know?
So he says you have to have an additional piece of ID called a voter ID.
Right. I think it does exist. I don't think I have one.
Yeah, I just read my driver's license when I vote.
Yeah, that's what I think. I know they send something every so often. It's probably that, and I probably lose it in the
mail. Here's what he feels how the vote. Not only should the voter ID be what you need to have to vote, it also needs to be policed. Check it out.
I don't know where they're coming up with all these things. Well, it's discriminatory. No, I would make it optional. You don't have to have a voter ID card. You don't have to have one. But if you don't have one, you can't vote.
Oh, interesting, Mr. Anti-Vaxxer. I'm assuming he was an anti-vaxxer being a Republican. I could be wrong. But he's saying, yeah, he was. Of course he was. So he's saying here that the vaccine, it's optional, but if you don't have the vaccine, you can't have a job, right? But it's optional.
He mentioned the vaccine? I didn't hear him.
No, but what I'm saying is his logic here is being flipped on himself because he's saying, we're not saying you have to have a voter ID card, but if you don't have one, you don't get the vote. Pro or anti-vax, what I'm saying is there was a time during the COVID peak that people did lose their jobs. And for example, I'm in the military. I had to have a vaccination. Like
Same. I had to get a vaccine. I work for the city, so I had to get a vaccine.
What I'm trying to get at regarding Frank here is he didn't like the vaccination. He didn't like that people were forced to take it. And the argument was for people that were anti-vax is like, you're saying it's optional, vaccinators, but if I don't take it, I lose my job. But I just find it ironic that he's now using that argument with the voter ID card. He's saying the voter ID card is optional, but you just don't get to vote. So it really isn't optional if you want to vote is what I'm getting at. I know it's a very convoluted way, but he's been ironically, he's using that same argument for his, let's be honest, for his agenda, for what he wants on the world. Basically, whoever's in power gets their own way. Frank's not in power, that's all.
Frank's.
And if you have a fraudulent one, you get 5 years in prison. It's a federal offense.
Judge, jury, executioner.
You get put to death. Not to say I agree with Frank, but I understand some of the stuff he's saying but I don't, like you're saying, if he's doing it for his own reasons and then it doesn't work the other way. I also get that.
You shouldn't be a criminal. I agree. Don't.
Yeah.
Under federal law, knowingly and willfully procuring or submitting fraudulent voter registration applications or otherwise defrauding the election process can result in a fine, of course, and imprisonment up to 5 years. Up to 5 years. Wow, good for you, Frank. Okay,
sentence, and it should say sentence by Frank Stallone.
All right, good. Well, there you go. See, we give credit where credit's due. He got the 5 years on the nose, so he knew that. Okay.
Okay, and we should have federal officers at all of these polling booths.
Can you imagine armed federal officers at every polling booth? Could they man that? Would they have the manpower for that?
I don't know.
That would be so many officers,
But what would they be doing? Are they checking everyone's ID? Is that what he's saying? This sounds very like 1984 futurist. Like sounds very what's the word? Dystopian.
Right.
And let people know that if you try trickery, you will go to prison. It's a federal offense. And then we'll see what a real election is. But all this stuff, mail-ins and this and stuff, it's all a ruse. And if you don't stand up for it, even people you like, whether Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, or whatever, you're never going to get a fair shake. Have a great day, and I'm happy you like the Trumpster watch. God bless.
He closes with the Trumpster watch. He's wearing the bling. He's wearing the.
I'm getting a watch like that with Frank Stallone's face on it.
Dude, I would buy that a heartbeat. I'd buy that.
That I will buy, Frank. If you're watching this episode, we probably will be. Make those, put them in the gift shop, frankstallone.com, whatever. I'll buy one.
Frank, great again. How'd they?
Make America Frank again. Make America Frank again.
Make more boxing videos again.
Yeah, make more. That's right. Make more workout and boxing videos again. Okay.
Yeah, really.
Again, he's saying that if we have it his way, of the way he's saying there, we'll have an look. if everyone obeys the rules and does everything, let's just be honest here. If everyone that could vote did vote and did it properly, it would be interesting to see what the results would be if it was truly not.
Right.
We don't know. At the end of the day, that's the thing, guys. And this is not be conspiratorial. I don't know if you can trust any of these numbers.
I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything at the end of the day. I get the sentiments he's saying, but then again, there's always going to be some kind of something that goes on behind closed doors. You're never going to get the true. There's other ways to fudge numbers, and
yeah, I agree.
Good morning.
I thought he was holding a hockey stick.
This is glasses.
Yeah, if he would have holding a hockey stick in his
So yeah, for our listeners, of course, he's holding his glasses to the like they're on the table in front of him, so the leg of the glasses is sticking in front of the camera here. He starts off very solemn. Did you catch that? He's very like solemn here. He's like, he's got a really solemn message to share here.
You should be terrified.
I want him to put like a Jason mask on him for this one, honestly.
You should be terrified. I'm not American. I live in Canada, but you both are American citizens. Robert and Dom, he has just told you, are you both terrified?
I'm always terrified. that's living life here.
I mean, I'll still go about my day regardless who wins, to be quite candid.
Same.
At the end of the day, Trump wins, Biden wins, or whoever's in power in my country, or if the earth is flat, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I still have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be absolutely terrified.
He's doubling down here. Are you not terrified?
Now I am.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I am.
Remember Johnny Carson playing the Great Carniac?
Yes.
Describe what Frank said on his wedding night. You should be terrified. You should be absolutely terrified.
About this human comedy that we're seeing on TV, do you see the Democratic Party? They've known all along that this man was mentally impaired.
He is saying that the Democratic Party has positioned Biden as this Looney Tune older man.
I think so.
Okay.
And they've lied to you for 4 years. They've made an ass of the American public.
Okay, guys, not only you two should be terrified, but you both, I look at you both, I think you're both are asses, quite frankly.
Yeah, right.
I'm a terrified ass.
George Clooney, all these Hollywood types that were raising millions of dollars, they knew something was wrong with him. And then when it was exposed, guess what they did? Like typical Hollywood fashion. The Katzenbergs, the Spielbergs, whoever.
Boy, any last name that ends with Berg? Yeah, he's very Alex Jonesy here. He's just called out he's talking about the Hollywood elite. Yeah, he's getting deep here, folks.
Whoever. They abandoned ship. So they abandoned ship, and you might have maybe one of the dumbest humans that have ever been in the administration.
Say what you want about Joe Biden.
Oh my goodness.
He's not stupid. Now, he's old now, and his faculties have diminished. Absolutely. That's not his fault. It's called being mortal and human. Some people can diminish their faculties at 60, 70, 80. Some can live to 90. Look at William Shatner, sharp as a tack at 92 or whatever. But that's just DNA. You can't help what happens. But Joe, unfortunately, looks like it is sad to watch. To me, I find it hard to watch an old man struggle. But he's not stupid. I don't think you don't have to agree with him, but I don't think he's unintelligent.
Could be President Kamala Harris. You should be terrified.
Now, I kind of agree about that. I'd be a little bit terrified of Kamala right in your country.
Yeah, I would be too.
If you're not, then something's wrong with you. Because that will be probably the beginning of the end of this country as we know it.
This has been said. Hasn't this rhetoric been said every campaign? Didn't they say this when Trump won? Remember that meme of that lady? You probably seen that lady in the streets screaming when Trump was.
Oh yeah, that famous video.
No. That was 2016, right?
Right.
Do you think he's trying to just gain sympathy from his followers by posting this kind of stuff, or like I don't know, like what is his purpose in doing this?
I don't know. I don't know what the purpose is.
I admire Frank's passion for politics. That's fine. Like, But the problem with politics, guys, and I will say this, and I think it's the same. This is my theory. I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a doctor, but I've just observed human behavior. The same type of behavior that I see people regarding their political parties, I see with people with their religion.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's the same neural wire ways. The way they speak about their political party, you change Republican Party or Democratic Party with Catholic or Mormon or a Jewish faith or whatever it is, Muslim. It's the same type of vigor.
Right. It's like the old saying, like, don't bring up politics or religion in a bar. It's just like,
Dude, do you think Frank is
it's just a spiral on both sides. You get the people that feel strongly on both sides, and it's just a never-ending battle.
Has a Muslim ever convinced a Catholic to become a Muslim?
Right, exactly, right.
Or vice versa. And of course, there's always the exception to every rule. But the point is, has a Republican ever convinced a Democrat or vice versa? I live my life politically the same way I do religiously. I'm a bit of a agnostic. I'm agnostic about religion and politics. Meaning,
right.
There's things about the conservative side that I agree with, both in Canada and the U.S. There's things about the liberal side that I agree with, and there's things about libertarian that I agree with. So I don't know where I fit because I just want to do what makes sense. I know there's no party that makes sense. That's the problem.
Right. That's the problem.
I just want the potholes fixed. I want medical coverage for everybody. I do want law and order. I want police to be funded. I want teachers to be funded. I want hospitals to be funded. So basically, I want medical care, and I want education, and I want potholes fixed. I want trained police officers.
I'm going to write that on my next ballot. I'm going to write, I want the potholes fixed.
So call me crazy. I just want peace. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm weird that way. I don't know. We have to cover Frank, so it's kind of this weird. Like,
he's spiraling right now, watching Frank spiral.
Yeah,
and we are now the laughing stock of the whole world.
Yes, you are, Frank. Yes, you are.
I gotta edit that, so it's I am now the laughing stock of the whole world.
I wish I could somehow.
Have a good day. You're on your own.
That should be the sign off from now on in the podcast.
What does that mean? I don't want to say.
Have a good day. You're on your own. That's Ryan. That's got to be the farewell on the podcast.
I'll see if I can add that in.
Story when I moved out to LA to be an actor, Frank
said
what he
told you.
You're on your own. That's what it was.
That might be directed at Rob.
Yeah, he's watching us doing this.
You're not getting the Trump watch in the will. I'll tell you that much.
I might get the hairpiece.
You might get the hairpiece. You should next time we do the podcast.
What a weird outro. You're on your own. Yeah, Robert, you said too, like, what does that mean? Like, I feel like he's mad at us now. He's mad at that his followers on Instagram aren't paying attention. He's like, I've told you the truth. I'm showing you guys the way. You're not listening to me. You're on your own. America, you're on your own. According to Frank.
I don't get it.
God. It's funny.
Okay, I want to show this because Frank, he's big into music, and he's got his own friends who do music. So he's got a friend. His name is Gary Private and Caitlin Gray, and they do a cover song by John Waite called "Ain't Missing You at All." Remember that song?
Oh yeah, I ain't missing you.
Okay, so he plugged on his Instagram a snippet from his friend. Here's the snippet that he shared on his Instagram regarding his friend Gary and his singing a cover song.
I think of you. I always catch my breath, and I'm still standing here.
Where does Frank find these friends? They all look like fucking monsters.
I know. This is like Mike Torsha singing. I know. This is sad. I'm sorry, guys. This is sad because this guy, he must, if he's not 70, he's 69. You know what I mean? Like,
I've met Gary Private in real life.
How old is he?
Probably around Frank's age, I would imagine.
Yeah. He might be the sweetest guy in the world, but I guess the cringe, this is cringe for me, is that this poor guy, Gary, he's singing like this is going to really be something. Now, apparently this song that he's done with Caitlin has charted somewhere in the UK on some chart, some independent weird chart or something like that. Like Reba McEntire happens to be on the chart as well. So I don't know where this chart is or what it's for. I'm like, that's cool. And then I went to their YouTube page where the song is. It's got like 5,000 views. So I'm like, okay, it's a cover song. I guess what's kind of funny is he's singing it okay. I can't sing. But at some point, you're just not going to make it. Like mathematically, you just have to say to yourself, look, I'm 74 years old.
Dead in 5 years.
you can just say it's over. Like, I'm 49 in October. I have given up my dreams a long time ago. Whatever I thought I could have been, it's over.
You're not going to be an actor, Ryan, at 49.
No, I don't think I'm going to enter the acting roles at 49. No, like it's okay. This Gary guy, like, he's singing the song like, I'm going to be discovered. I'm going to be a hit. I'm going to be a star. Because even on his Instagram, it says he's singer, songwriter, actor. He's part of SAG. It's like, at some point, yeah, maybe we should do a Gary Private podcast. But let's continue listen to this here.
Gary Private podcast.
You're miles away. I'm wondering why you left. And it's my heart that's breaking.
Now, what bugged me about this video, but they filtered themselves so strong here. Like, they're trying to make themselves look 40. They're both 65, 70. The filters are so strong. Anyways, look at her teeth. The teeth drove me. I'm sorry. I'm a teeth guy.
Oh my God. Look at those teeth.
Well, that's all I can see when she's singing. And she's singing. I can't take my eyes off the teeth. And they're
that's
like,
all you see in this video.
He's like missing the lower half of her fucking bottom teeth.
You got to get those fixed. You got to get because nobody wants to see those.
Down this long distance line tonight. I ain't missing you at all. I ain't missing you at all. Since you've been gone.
Now he's missing his teeth too. You see that? He's got teeth missing too.
The toothless act they got going.
He's got the Elvis hairdo and the jacket.
Oh man.
So they're both missing teeth, which is, you can't have teeth missing. They're like two hockey players singing a song here. This is a toothette. Together they form one set of teeth. So I Googled on YouTube, "Ain't Missing You" cover. Their video had 1.5 million views just a few years ago. 1.5 million views on your YouTube channel, and their channel's monetized. Not only are they singing it better, but they're actually playing their instruments too. They're not just playing the backing karaoke track that these two were doing.
It's my heart that's breaking down this long distance line tonight. I am missing you at all. Since you've been gone away, I am missing you. No matter what my friends say. And there's a message that I'm saying.
So you get the point. Like,
Yeah, they're good.
Again,
They're good, yeah.
yeah, they're good. And they've made a whole YouTube channel doing covers like this. There's a lot of channels like that. That's how they make their money. That's kind of how you have to reinvent yourselves a little bit. Because the criticism could be, well, they're just singing a cover song. But yeah, but if you can make it your own and do it really professionally, and
if you have teeth in your mouth.
you have teeth in your mouth. And these guys have embraced their bald head too. They, if you go bald, just shave it. Just go bald. It's okay.
Any of you people out there that find humor in this, you're really a sick, vapid person.
Now, before I continue, what do you think he's referring to?
I know he's referring to the Trump assassination attempt.
I didn't even think. I completely forgot about that already.
I'm not laughing at that. It's just whenever he tries to I can't take
Right. I was trying to think for a minute what he was so serious about, but all I could think of was the people singing.
There was a part of me was hoping that he was talking about our podcast when I first saw the video.
Puts up like a picture of you, me.
You got no soul. It's Democratic Party. Anything to win, right? Anything to win. But you, Matt Friend, all these comedians, you think it's funny?
I think Matt Friend's pretty funny.
So I had to Google who Matt Friend was. He's the guy that does all the Trump impersonations. It's funny, like Trump survived the hit attempt. However you want to look at it. He's alive. He's fine. He got his ear clipped. It's a scary moment, close call, but I'm not saying make fun of it, but at the same time, I saw what Matt Friend did. I Googled it. It's nothing to be angry about. This is what I mean. Can you get what I'm saying, folks, about the religion part? You get what I'm saying? It's the same brain wavelength. People who are Trump supporters are this way, and people who are Biden supporters are this way. They treat their political leaders as godlike creatures or as infallible or holy creatures. Like, how dare you? How dare you make fun of a human? Nah, he's He takes a shite like everyone else. Just settle down. Why do we deify political people? We shouldn't. I don't think you should. The whole idea that you can't make fun of somebody. Now, you might not think it's funny. You don't have to click on their videos and like it, but you don't have to get angry at the joke. The joke's already been said. Nobody got hurt from the joke. You might not think it's funny, but being angry by it, that's an odd reaction. That's the religious reaction.
This man was almost shot and killed. This is a sick society. This has gone beyond the pale of politics. You people should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, let's slow down. One guy fired the weapon. Sure, it was a shooter. And yeah, like most people who are mentally sound don't shoot people to murder. Like it's usually something going on up there.
Really, you should be ashamed of yourself.
There you go. That was the video. That was the whole video. All right. So he's feeling very raw right now. He's feeling very raw.
There's one clip I saw. I'm just waiting for you to show. The Jack Black one, yeah.
Oh, he may have taken that one down.
I saved it on my phone. I can send it to you.
Good morning. It was a harrowing day yesterday. We almost lost, hopefully, the future president of the United States and the former president of the United States. This hate speech coming from the left, the Nancy Pelosi's, the AOC's, Ilhan Omar's, the Chuck Schumer's, it has to stop. It has to stop. I lived through the 1963 Kennedy assassination. It's a demoralizing, horrible time.
So I Googled how old he was when JFK was assassinated. He was 13. He was 13. But you know what's funny? When JFK was assassinated, it was a horrible, profound moment for my parents remember it. My dad's older than Frank, actually, so he remembers it quite well.
Uh-huh.
But guess what happened, folks? Life continued kind of like as sad and as terrible as it was. America survived. North America survived. The free world survived.
No one deserves this. Is this hate talk going? Of course, I'm getting advice from people, family, people in business. Oh, Frank, you shouldn't talk.
Do you think Sly's told him?
I'm sure he's probably mentioned. Can you tone it down?
Sly, you can notice that Sly stays pretty silent when it comes to stuff like this.
Oh yeah. Now we know he's a Republican. That's fine.
The thing is, though, he has a lot to lose because he's so famous. Frank doesn't really.
So what are you implying that Frank doesn't have anything to lose?
No, he has nothing.
So you're right. You're both absolutely right.
It'll cancel your career. You know what?
You don't have a career.
Yeah, you can't cancel what you don't have. So, like, how would you cancel Frank? Like, what are you stopping? His next gig? His next movie role? Right. He's saying this is what people are telling him. Be careful what you say. You might get canceled.
Care. I'll be 74 years old July 30th. I think I've made whatever mark I'm going to make in my career. But
yeah, you peaked. It's over. It's done. You ain't peaking anymore. You're not going to be like Gary Private. You're not going to get a resurgence.
Gary Private. Oh, God.
I can't go to bed at night thinking I didn't even try. I think this situation has now empowered people in my business to say, you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to cancel me. You're going to take my voice away. You're going to take my guitar playing away. You're going to take my humor away. You aren't.
Humor? When has he ever told the joke that made you laugh? Me and Dom have made Frank funny. I don't know if Frank is funny on his own.
Canceling anything. Stand up and be counted. We wish my condolences go to these innocent people who are just sitting there going to a rally. But look what this president showed. He took a bullet, and then when I tell you, I know about firearms, that was a split hair, and he would have been dead before he hit the ground. And look what he did. He stood up with his hand.
Oh, look, he was about to start crying. Look, I get it. When Trump got up, I saw that live when it happened, or shortly after it happened. When he got up and did the fist pump in the air, I'm not conspiratorial. I don't know what's going on around here, but there was a part of me like, my goodness, if they could have captured one picture at one moment, like this was like the soldiers at Iwo Jima. This is like the moon flag being planted picture. Trump with his fist in the air with that flag. I'm telling you, it's a picture. It's a picture that will live on for a long time. For a long time. Put it this way, that picture was strong enough that the Democrats were like, oh boy. We got our guy falling down the stairs going up the plane. We got another guy raised up his hand saying fight with blood coming down his face. That's a photo op, folks. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on.
He said, fight. You've got to stand up and fight and be counted.
Now, I love how he says, like, fight, yeah, fight. But then he goes, but we don't want to hurt anybody.
We don't want anybody getting hurt.
It's got to be what is it? A regular match, boxing gloves.
Is he promoting violence?
Well, that's why he was very quick to kind of like. But we're not saying physical violence. But I get it. Yes, fight with your words, with your vote.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be heard. You're taxpayers. You're American citizens, and this is how it has to go. You can't vote unless you're an American citizen. We got to get voter ID. We got to get this legit. God bless you all. God bless President Trump. God bless America.
He is feeling the passion, folks. He's feeling the passion.
You can see I'm not in fancy mode. I'm get up early mode. So I'm not here to impress.
He's just wearing a flannel shirt and a toque or a snow cap.
But
But
gym, though. He wears the
yeah, he does
flannel
wear
shirt
the gym. Has anyone ever watched his videos to be impressed?
But I think you've seen all the information since Saturday. I have been around presidents before, and normally you can't get.
Has he met any in person that you're aware of, Robert?
Yeah, he's met Trump. I know that. I'm sure through his brother, I imagine. But apart from that, I don't know. But
Trump for sure, yes. But he's saying I've been around the president, so maybe he.
I think he met Reagan with his brother back in the 80s. But
Okay.
again, it was through his brother. Obviously.
Just two more than I've met.
Yeah, that's fair. He is friends with Donald. The Donald, that's true.
Yeah, friends, quote unquote.
Within a few hundred yards of the president without Secret Service presence all around. And I don't know, you just tell me, how someone, a 20-year-old, parks a truck.
Well, he drives the truck, then puts it into park.
Near that building, climbs up on the building with a rifle, by the way, gets on top of the roof, and there's Secret Service people placed all around the perimeter. They're always up high, and you saw them with bipods and semi-automatic weapons looking at the perimeter, look at the rooftops, and you didn't see this guy? You're telling me a police officer climbs up on the roof, spots this shooter, and all of a sudden the shooter turns around and the police officer just sulks away?
Yeah, we've heard this narrative already, of course. I get it. There's a lot of questions that aren't answered. This is a big situation. It's like any crime scene, right? Think of any crime scene. There's questions that we don't have, especially when the person who committed the crime is dead. So it's hard to get answers from a dead corpse. So to get the motive, to get how, the what, the whys, who put you up to this, all that's gone with the dead body. So it's going to leave a lot of unanswered questions. And there's a comedy bit. If I can insert it, I'll insert it.
Now there's just certain people I have no time for. Like if you're sexist or homophobic, or if you don't believe in conspiracy theories. I just don't understand, how do you not believe in any conspiracy theories? I understand not all of them, not most of them, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theory? You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth? That's a strong stance to take. And again, as I said before, I don't like talking about politics on stage or off stage. I don't like talking about things I don't feel like I'm truly knowledgeable in. But I do know this. Our government is placed in charge of all of its people. I'm a father who's been placed in charge of just one son. And I lie to that all the time.
We know something went down that day. I get it. But if it was a quote-unquote inside job, they got the wrong guy to do it. There's been people who are pro-Republicans who are saying it was Trump, or it doesn't matter, it was Trump shooting himself to cause the injury to make himself look great. Like that photo op was amazing. How else could this not be staged because it was such an amazing outcome? Like no one's ever had anything triumphant happen from tragedy. Of course, it's happened in the world all the time. Or it was an honest attempt to kill him, but it was missed. Then it was set up by his enemy to do, but they got this kid to do the shooting, so they killed him before they could.
Well, I think the kid was supposedly a Trump supporter. He was a staunch Republican, the one supposed assassin. I mean, from what I read.
Yeah, and that could be part of the. So these are all unanswered questions. That's what I'm bringing up. I'm bringing up unanswered questions. At this point, you the public, you, me, Dom, Robert.
What are you talking about? We got all the answers to the JFK assassination.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I was just about to
Yeah, didn't that just get tied in a bow perfectly?
Yeah, six years later, we're never going to find that out.
But there are multiple shooters. My brother had the president of the United States at his estate in Florida many, many years ago. You couldn't walk 10 feet without seeing a Secret Service person. And you're telling me a kid had a ladder that got on the roof with a car 400 feet from where the president was, and no Secret Service people saw him?
Well, at the end of the day, it could be a different detail, different team, and inadequate personnel, a shortage of personnel, inept personnel. All these things could also be true. Meaning, had it not been an inside job, you're just talking about people who aren't good at their job, which I almost think that's what happened. I think at the end of the day,
I think that's what it was. Too. I think it was.
It's easier just to assume people are bad at their job, guys, and I hate to say it like that.
And the kid was a bad shot. Too.
It was I think it was a combination.
Of just that kid, luckily being a bad shot, and then those people just.
Yeah, the ones that were around Trump really handled it very well, covering him up and getting him out of there. And they were trying to move him out of there. And Trump actually told him to wait. I don't know if he caught it. He goes, wait, I want to talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
I saw a video clip of these two guys who were walking around with a ladder. It's a funny clip on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They're showing you all the places they could walk into, like downtown.
Oh, I seen that, like walking into a movie theater and stuff like that with a ladder.
Just they would carry a ladder. So if you think about it, if you saw a guy just carrying a ladder, it's funny how often you're not looking. See, it's when you look back, you can say to yourself, how come we missed that? Well, because you weren't looking. You didn't see a guy carrying a ladder. If I was at the event, I saw just a kid walk with a ladder. I was like, oh, there's a guy with a ladder. You're not looking the way you think you're looking.
Right,
if that makes sense. Yeah. So everyone thinks everyone else has something done. So like everyone thinks, oh, that roof is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But yet he got off a few shots, and then all of a sudden he gets killed by the Secret Service. After he got...
It was very quickly, too. It wasn't that long. I mean, he was dead within 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said once he started shooting.
Got off a few shots. He should have been shot the moment they saw a person on the roof.
What I've heard is people say, oh, they were told not to shoot. It's a tricky thing because depending on the policy of whether it's government, police, or like military, there are rules and occasions where the rules of engagement are that you are not to fire until you've been fired on, even when you know the person has a weapon. So they did report that they saw somebody with a weapon, but I think they were told not to fire until there was a threat, like an actual firing threat. And so when the firing happened, they did indeed fire back and killed the threat. With
a firearm. You figure it out. Just use your own mind. I'm not doing a conspiracy theory. I'm just telling you the truth.
Look at the smug face he did there, eh? Frank, well, you tell us. You seem to have it figured out. You tell us. Now, I love how he closes this whole like non-conspiracy theory thing. I like how he closes this. Check this out. It's such an odd ending.
And pardon me for my beautiful La Cotere, or whatever the fuck it's called. Look.
What?
Have a great...
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Great day.
There you go, guys. It's 1 month of stuff. I mean, obviously big events. We had no idea.
1 month of Frank.
Wait, go on Frank's Instagram. He posted something a few days ago. He's in his kitchen. It's the funniest clip. Yeah, it's that one right there. The second one.
This one?
Yeah. You didn't see this?
That?
Oh, you didn't see this one?
Good morning, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the convention. It's like a rock concert. It's amazing. The love, the positiveness, going out there to make this country, bring it back where people can afford to buy a house, where people can afford to educate their kids, get rid of this woke nonsense.
Okay. I love it. Sorry, I missed this one. Yeah, did you watch any of that with Hulk Hogan tearing off his shirt there?
I've seen clips.
Yeah.
Dom's so subdued on this episode. I feel bad, Dom, because I got a feeling we're going to get a lot of political stuff till November. I think our next 5 episodes might be political heavy. So,
no.
Yeah.
Like this thing with Jack Black.
Oh.
This guy is a buffoon, a fake. In the music industry, The Rock, he's a clown.
Whoa.
Imagine Frank calling anybody else a clown.
Absolutely. No, Jack Black, of course, is the duo Tenacious D, which I'm a big fan of. I think when it comes down to it, Yeah, I know what happened with Kyle Gass. Long story short, I don't know if he's going to say specific. What happened was in an Australia show, it was Kyle Gass's birthday. It was a day after the events of the assassination. Jack Black says, "Hey, Kyle, do you have anything you want to wish happy birthday for?" And Kyle says, "I wish next time they won't miss." And of course, that's obviously a very, that's uncool thing to say, whether it was Joe Biden or it doesn't matter. Of course, you don't want anyone to be murdered. That's obviously something you shouldn't say. You shouldn't promote that. So he was dropped by his label. They've kind of broken up as a band. They've kind of put everything on hold. It wasn't even Jack Black that said that. So all that being said, they are not clowns. Have you ever watched the Tenacious D? Like, go watch Tenacious D live at any event or concert tour or whatever. They freaking kill it, and they're amazing live. Now, yes, they're comedy, but they're also very good rockers. And Frank wishes he could play and have the attention these guys bring to the rock stage. Absolutely. So there's a bit of jealousy there. So this is him saying, "Ha ha, look at this guy getting himself in hot water. Ha ha, what a buffoon."
I don't agree with what he said, but I'm also on the fence that I don't like the whole canceling people. I don't think whatever thing you say is like it's ridiculous, because then that goes for both sides too. You should be able to say whatever the fuck you want. It's freedom of speech. Yeah, he should, obviously it's not the right thing to say. I wouldn't have said it. It's a poor taste kind of joke.
Poor taste, but I agree. The whole cancel thing is but here he is applauding the canceling of Jack Black.
The canceling thing should be thrown in the garbage on every side. I just think
both
that's
sides,
ridiculous.
exactly.
Because nobody could make mistakes in their life and say something. Who hasn't said something that they would? If we were celebrities, I would have got canceled a long time ago.
What are the chances Jack Black sees this clip and claps back?
Zero.
Zero.
And that's the thing is he's going after Jack, but Jack didn't say anything. Now Jack is a Biden supporter. He's a Biden supporter, and it was his partner that said the not good thing on stage at a concert. But you're right too that canceling be like, come on, just don't go to their show. That's the canceling. Is we shouldn't say you are hereby canceled. Just let the concert goers not show up at the next show, and eventually they'll be canceled. Like Frank's career was canceled a long time ago because nobody buys his albums anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like you're canceled by the product, not by what you say.
Jack Black didn't say it, but then he came out and kind of distanced himself. But it's sad because then this is the world we live in that. And I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but now this guy has to do that to kind of save his career. Yeah, because if he doesn't do that, then he's not going to get movie.
Yes, I know. So. I feel bad because they're like writing partners. They've been in business together for 25 years. Those two, if not Tenacious D stuff. 25 years.
Does he still do movies? I haven't seen Jack Black in a film in a while.
He is some stuff. Yeah,
he is.
School of Rock. This guy wouldn't know rock if it fell on his head.
Oh, that's not true. He's wrong, Frank. You're allowed to have your own opinion, but here you're actually wrong. He does again. You don't have to agree with what you don't have to agree with him being a Biden supporter, but you're actually wrong about his knowledge of rock and roll. Jack Black could play Frank under the table and sings better than Frank too, quite frankly. Have you ever heard him sing?
Right,
he's good.
But yet again, Jack Black didn't say this.
No, so also Jack Black
I keep going back to this only because, and I'm not like I said, if he's Biden, if he's Trump, whatever the fuck it is, it's just the point of he shouldn't be feeling that from what this guy said. But that's just that's another conversation. And
he did something in his band that was unforgivable.
What? What did he do? It was his partner.
Right. Like he didn't say it.
You didn't say anything. I love it. I love it.
To wish someone get killed. Here's a grandfather, father of 5 kids, 10 grandchildren. To wish that. I don't care who I don't like. And believe me, I don't like most Democrats. And
no, you're kidding. Now, so this is kind of embarrassing because I almost feel bad for Frank because he's actually he should have said Kyle Gass. Kyle Gass is the person that said it.
Right. Then it would make more sense.
I think he read a headline and he did not read the article.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no bones about it. I don't like them around me. They're not in my scope, but I would never wish someone gets shot. He said it. He's trying to backpedal. He's a clown.
No, he didn't say it. He's not backpedaling. He actually canceled the concert and put their creative things on hold. It was actually his call. So he may have done that for his own personal protection. That's fine. It's also his career. I get it. But not only did he not say it, but he distanced himself from his own partner who did say it. Mm-hmm. So he's got everything backwards here. Is he a clown? Well, sure. He's always been a goofy guy. That's his brand. But a clown, the way he's saying it, no. Again, he can sing better than you, Frank, and he can probably play the guitar better than you too.
Shots fired.
So he's
hey, too soon with the shots fired, Dom.
But on a positive note, The evidence is coming out. I'm believing, like a lot of people, that this was a setup.
By who? That's the question. So I get it, but by who? Failed by the Democrats to kill Trump, or Trump to promote Trump? That's the question now. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, if it's a setup, I don't even know which side of the fence set him up, because it just made Trump better. Like, I don't care where you are even the Democrats will say Trump's now emboldened by this.
Definitely.
Any kind of a security guard at Ralph's would have more sense if you saw someone over a roof.
Again, hindsight, classic hindsight. Everyone says would have, could have, should have. This goes for every scenario, of course. Now we see it. Now we get it, but they didn't during that time.
And nobody did anything. So we just hope everyone just like brings it down a notch.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that on your channel. Right?
I was going to say, yeah.
Let's see what happens with the election. And we're just trying to make it good for everybody. I don't have any meat in the game other than being a tax-paying American citizen. I know you're going to ask me, what kind of watch is this? Well,
nope, wasn't going to bring it up at all. Didn't even cross my mind, but let us know. It's not the Trump watch. It's a different one.
This is a 1940s Boulevard. I don't wear new watches. I wear Timex.
You just wore a Trump watch 2 videos ago. It's a new watch. What's he talking about? This guy.
He just segues into watches.
He's got a watch. He should start a fucking segment on watches. And he's got so many watches.
So many watches.
This is Boulevards, Elgins, Hamiltons. I have some of the fancy watches. I don't even wear them anymore. I'm just being American, baby. God bless you all. Have a great day.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Robert. That's why we had Robert on the show today. Sorry, we went
bonus.
a little long.
That was the bonus Frank content.
That was amazing. I'm sorry I missed that. I apologize for that. Well, without further ado, that was amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Robert. Thanks for coming on the show. It was awesome having you.
And pleasure.
We'll do this again in August. I think we'll do this again 2/3 way through August or near the end of August. We get more. I'm sure there'll be some more coverage on something.
Sure they will.
That concludes another episode of Frank Stallone. Who is this guy?